But back to what I was saying, the respect value and a lot of stuff I think is gone. And I just be comparing and contrasting, and I see a lot of these ladies, they have children. And it's no disrespect, but most of these ladies that you see naked like that or on the internet that's so revealing, and I'm saying you an adult, you can do whatever you want. I'm just talking about things that we have conversations with, and I have with different people, male and female. And she said, "You're right." When I have the statement that a lot of women, not all, but I talked with a lot of women about this. She said, "You are right, Sheik," and I'm gonna go over some notes I have. She said a lot of ladies, they do raise daughters and just love their sons, and the daughters know how to do everything, and the boys might just play sports and that's it, and they're not even respectable. They don't know how to do anything, not honorable, because these things hasn't been groomed. It hasn't been groomed. So think about these things when I talk about can a woman raise a young man how to be a young boy how to be a man, and just listen clearly. No, but can she groom him, and can she teach him respect, and can she put him in a connection with people that she say that are men and have these high qualities and XYZ, maybe if it be an uncle or cousin, or if not, you might have to find that young man a big brother. I think that's the tool. Because a lot of times effort is just spent on sports and clothes. And I'm just being honest when we talk about the atrocities of the single mom. When we're not dissing single mothers and nothing like that, because these are conversations I had with empresses and with my empress. And I met a lady, and she bought Exumer Foundation from me, and she was like, "Here it is. You gave me this for change that it costs on the internet." And I sent it to her as an ebook, but then we printed it and bind it. But she says she like all her books as ebooks because she has everything on her tablet. Some people like, the writing books, well, whatever, but you're not traveling with all them books. But whatever it may be, expensive and rare books we print and bind. So if a book costs like $100 and some dollars, we'll print and bind it for the same price Office Max or Staples. But she said, why would it be a higher sale if the book is $100 on Amazon and you have the book and you turned all these books to ebooks? Amazon, all these places do it. And I'm like, yes, but make a long story short. And she said, well, it's right. In the Exumer of the Nation, page 257, and she said, I went through some of your lectures years ago and you spoke on this. So she said, how can any woman that's in moral science or any man in moral science can't have these conversations and come to an understanding on the atrocities of that concept of the single mom? Because in our community, we ain't never had a problem with our women working. That was another national culture thing. You got to understand that. And when welfare and all this stuff came into play, it destroyed the household. This is what I tell a lot of women. I talk to a lot of women. So most of them agree. If you're operating in righteousness, if I have a child, if I'm a woman, I have a child by a man, right? And we ain't together, then I'm all on social media talking about, oh, my baby daddy ain't nothing. Well, before I even say that, let me reverse. I saw something on social media, one of the empresses that I deal with, she sent me something, and it was a young boy talking to his mama, and he was like, "Mama, where my daddy? I don't got no daddy," or something in that context. And she was like, "Well, your daddy don't want to be around, and this and that and the other." And for me, I don't like those situations because it looked like it looked like you're manipulating the situation, and it's not being an honest conversation. Now, if his daddy don't want him to be in the child life, that's fine. You should find uncles, cousins, big brothers, etc. Instead of going out all the time, you should be doing those things. That to me. Two, if I'm a woman and I had a child single and I say the dad in his life, I'm not gonna have another one. I'm just saying me personally. Why? Because I went through it. I want to make sure the next thing I get into is righteous. I don't want to say, oh, then I have another baby by another man, then I'm talking shit about him on social media. Or then all men ain't nothing. No, your decision making. It's your decision making. That's not right. How? Because if you did it once and then you do it again, who to blame? And then now you say, I will, you got two kids and both of the baby daddies is nothing. I think that's a bad judgment. And I think if anybody was being honest, they would look at that and they'd be like, yes, that's a bad judgment. And then comes along what? Welfare. Then what comes along? All those things that separate the household. And y'all know coming up when the women was getting all that stuff from the state and low rent paid and all that, the man couldn't be in the household for that. So when we talk about the atrocities of the single mom, we're not dissing our ladies. I just want to talk about a couple of topics, and see what people feel about it. Because we have got a misconcept. And I always tell my brothers and sisters, especially my sisters, going into another calendar year, no matter what calendar you believe in, we can't keep these messed up behaviors as normal and then be like, oh, the government is all in our business. When kids are being born, and when women choose and men choose to have sex and bring kids into life and don't take them, that's welfare. So a man can't make a woman have sex with him unless that's forced. So it takes that woman to allow that. And then it takes that woman to allow unprotected sex. Because anytime you have unprotected sex or sex in general, it's potential to bring a kid in this world. It's no disrespect. And this is in no way to degrade none of my empresses, no matter what you claim yourself, Moorish, whatever, etc., or other women colonized and domesticated here in the Americas. That's not my mission. My mission is to explain things and talk to things and have these conversations. Peace, noble. And if my empresses talk about it and they be looking at these nobles and she be like, it's inexhuman of the nation on chapter 259. And then I heard her, she like, here these Negroes be buying this weed and all this on 4th of July, New Year's, they dressed up and they don't understand this, they don't read. I said, because men don't have time. That's why I said going into this new year, my whole focus is changed. What? My focus is on the women, man. It's just like when that movie Nick Cannon was out, I forget the name of it, and it's Chirac. It was about, hey, the men need to straighten up or the women close your legs. Because men, we don't even treat ourselves honorably. What you see on the internet, these Moors on social media, everybody arguing with each other. They don't even look like Crips and Bloods. They look like the Klan members. They look like a whole bunch of Klan members with fezzes on their heads. Especially when you out here promulgating sovereign citizen Negro stuff, like you can nationalize somebody or your social security number is attached to this and not Roger Elvick stuff, and you talk about you dealing with Bitcoin. Stop. Going into the new year, we should stop all that. We should be dealing with those that's real, that's building, because we've been lied to by our own people. Look at all these people that's been lying, saying they got land, they got some never farms, and they got 400 acres, and that was all a facade. That was all a facade. The young boy from the Nation of Islam, he got 400 acres, lied. Where they at? All the people that say they deal with Bitcoin, where all them groups at? Where the Black Wall Street, where everybody that say they're great thinkers and they deal with Bitcoin all this now, they just keep reinventing themselves. And we gonna fall for that? That shows how stupid we are. Think about what I'm saying, man. All these people that's on these goofy podcasts with these goofy characters talk about, yeah, you could file this and do this and do this, and I made $3 million last year. Cap. What person will get on the internet and say they made $3 million? That's why I said these ain't no real hustlers. These are characters. If I made $3 million in the COVID off the books, what the hell I'm talking about? I ain't talking about it. This is characters. To buy their program. They not even smart as Bernie Madoff. I told y'all, I've been around too long. I know all these characters. They're not gonna come on here with nothing because it can be destroyed. We just open up their portfolio. It's Fuji dust. But indeed, our goddesses are equally perfect in God's sight, and their men and other creations. of the one divine origin. But what I'm talking about and what I'm enveloping is this special body. This is what I want to talk about. The entire people which have been buried in a shallow grave, you know, in rubble, in colorable law, and all these jurisdictions when you don't understand. And then when these characters come with that UCC stuff, I said, dude, they're not telling you everything. It's cap. I'm telling you. I want people to know real law, and law governs all events. Most of these Moors really comprehend what they see, you know? And I'm certain that the student, that anybody that's listening to me will agree that upon that often a person does not realize they were in a state of sleep until they have been awakened. Watch. And when anyone is unaware of his or her state of sleep, it is termed as being unconscious. And there is no dramatic difference between a sleepwalker and a slave who does not realize he is a slave. Think about it, because you can't, and ain't no Europeans on the internet telling you, trying to sell you no package, talking about this. There ain't no Europeans on there. It's only us. It's only us that have been having these goddamn gold lectures and these meetings forever and paying these people. So I say, you just a motivational speaker. That's it. You're just a motivational speaker. I know too many people that was promoting rich dad, poor dad, and they still poor. I know this for a fact. Because they're not talking group economics. I told y'all, all that stuff is a game. It's a book called The Influencer. That's where all that crap come from. I'm anointed and consecrated and educated. This is my expertise. None of them will come with that crap. All that stuff is some goofy stuff. And they talk and say, if you ain't dealing with me, that's why your life ain't right. That's that influencer stuff. I'm telling you. I'm from Flint, Michigan. They ain't coming to me with that. I had a homeboy into that fivefold stuff. My empress will tell you, called him out like a chump and told me to get out of my face with that. I know these Ponzi schemes, these pyramid schemes. I know how that go. You got to get the next person to get them, you get them to get them. But the person under, they ain't getting nothing. They be dusty and busty. I know how this go. I know how this go. They can come to you with all that crap, the digital marketing, all cap. All cap. Any of these internet marketers that be with the rappers, anything, I bet you they won't come. Because, I know that is cap. And most people just don't know. And in order for anyone to get them from Wednesday to Friday, you have to go through Thursday. But then you get these people, I can show you how to get to Friday without going through Thursday. Really? That's a court gesture. The days are in the sequential places and align with the events of time. Like so, the atrocities of the single mom is merely to reveal another Thursday eclipse of us Moorish American freedom, And that's why I know disrespect. And a lot of empresses need to sit down too. Because with all this confusion, the Moors, the M-U-U-R, and we the M-M-O, shut up. Moor can be spelled a plethora of ways. We talk about academia. We ain't talking no gang. We ain't doing no separation. How you want to spell Moor? M-O-O-R, M-O-H-R, M-U-U-R, and you only talking a little bit and you talking separation. I know this for a fact. That's what TikTok does. That's what atrocities does, which has a divine destiny that must be attained on Friday. And once again, I'm not here to oppose none of my sisters, but it's for y'all. And in this dissertation and in this small lecture, as in all the life, works, and teachings, our prophet Noble Ali and all divine teachers and every Moorish sister, is hereby declared innocent babies. And they are forgiven for everything they did before the event of their Redeemer. I have neither contention of nor the will to throw out our empresses' mothers, throw out our Moorish empresses from that African culture per se, Mother Africa per se, of humanity with the following bathwater of the single moms. Like right now, I see so much crazy stuff. I see empresses on the internet, oh, they did with polygamy and all this, but I don't see nothing righteous. What I be seeing these women, and y'all know the truth, especially the ones that they say they looking for polygamy and that's what they do, and that's the new world and all this. You just look like some hoes in garments. No disrespect, because if you are a temple woman or a woman in that culture, that ain't how to get it. Because they look like you advertising sex. No disrespect to no one. Polygamy versus monogamy. So it's a way to do things. Polygamy is for the family, to build family. It's not to have just for sex, because a man can just pay for sex. So you might as well say you're just a temple prostitute. With all respect. Some people get into these so-called religions to have a whole bunch of girls. Like my homegirl that used to be down with the Hebrew Israelites. She was telling me about that. That's why I deal with certain people. I deal with righteousness. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care. And if you ain't in no situation where you can take care of the women and you can be honest to them, then you lying. The foundations of bigamous laws in the states rooted deep in Eurocentric catechism. And this is stuff we have to understand. We need a social wake up. And if the sisters is in trouble, forsake her not. That's in our Lord's Quran, chapter 25. Today, all girls, maidens, women, Moors descents, and born in the United States are undeniable, all in trouble. Single mothers, commonly known amongst so-called African Americans as single moms, are not born. Think about single moms are not born. They've been made single by the judicial and political design. Single mom, the acronym SM, could not exist except with the absence of lawful husbands and or what? Paternal fathers of the children they possess. See? So what I'm saying is we're not dissing what happened. We correct it. As when I say our empresses should be straightening up these young girls' crowns, say, hey, today, if you raising them honorable, there's no reason just to have baby. You don't have to do that no more. Why? Because this is how we doing it. Because this is how we doing it. And the U.S. population of the single moms exploded at its most shameful and alarming rate during the later 15 years of the 20th century. Remember in May 2002, Mara J., famed poster child for the single moms, remember? And radio personality of the syndicated Tom Joyner Morning Show reported there are 7.5 single moms out here in the USA. This was then. And today, these modest figures illustrate the profound summation of the various local, city, and state, courts, yielding a bounty of single moms into the millions. Single moms now form an entirely separate widow society. You hear these Masons today say that they some widow son of women and children, not legal mothers, parents, and wives as assumed. Think about what I'm saying now. This is the atrocities of the single mom. Welfare, the separation of the father. Listen to me. From the point of view of any nation, all single moms are the unprotected mothers of the society. All single moms are unprotected. Most people are aware of the the fate that single moms are the unprotected mothers. Most people know this. They know Negro, Black, and Colored, the acronym NBC. They know that. They know men are somehow justifiably misplaced within the media-controlled judicial system. We know this. But it may help to point out, although this cultural root of this 14th Amendment, this recycle abolish slavery, is the melting pot of the U.S. And the main ingredient of this extended institution of slavery is, in fact, the single moms. And people don't see it. And people don't see it. Because when the home is destroyed, it's over. That's why I said, I love women. I love all empresses. But I tell empresses, a woman cannot raise a young boy to be a man. She can raise him to be respectable, and she can groom him. And when I say groom him, it's connected him to righteous men that can show him those men qualities that men possess, which should be your mission. A mentor, scouts, something. If all the uncles is drunk, then that's the mission. Define that. And I'm saying what our culture is today, a lot of parents today, is that spiritual aspect is disconnected. Here it is, I'm a mentor to some youth. I've created something, and I hit these kids up online because in my professional field, I deal with behavioral health therapists and I'm licensed and all that. But I always try to figure out things how to create my own with my own last name and leave a legacy. So this is what I'm doing in my endeavors to create my own, you know. But these are the conversations that I have. And the legal definition for the word single is what? Alone, one only, one that is abstracted from others. Unmarried, the term being applicable to a widow and occasionally even to a married widow living apart from her husband. Right? Dominating Black Laws Dictionary. You know, most more Black laws, man, I don't want to hear all no Black laws. You got Black Laws Volume 1 all the way to 10. Okay, good. And we don't even use that in a court of law. These is facts. Don't make nothing but terms. Single mom, the acronym SM, is not a lawful status with respect to mother, father, parent, or guardian. Now think about what I'm saying. It is an implied social condition supported under the color of authority, but is abnormal in a wholesome society. That's why I'm saying when you don't have a culture history, you're not a wholesome society. Because in a wholesome society, if it's a woman that's single, it's going to be men that's going to step up to raise what? The boys to men. Single mom, implying a mother who has been abandoned or otherwise left absent by the child's father, is like an expression used to identify those Moorish African mothers. I'm just using that for context. Exercising the protected custody of the children in negligence of their offspring's biological fathers. And the term derived from the liberated European female prototype, legally recognized as the single parent family. We did this in college, man. Like I said, this is elementary, and what's common in academia and historically is not common to us. Because you will hear these religious people get on the internet, all them Muslims, and I said, here it is, you will talk that, and Dr. Wesley Muhammad is a PhD from University of Michigan. And then you get these Nation of Islam Muslims who get on the internet and university graduate is the white man stuff. You sound crazy. If that's the case, but then you deal with Scientology. And then education can't be no white man stuff because the first universities was created where? In Salamanca in Spain, from Babylon to Timbuktu. Come on, man. And for the acronym Negro, Black, and Colored people, it's single mom. And for the European societies, it's a single parent family. And the word parent and family are in lawful statuses. And this is what we don't know. The term single parent family is recognized and accepted judiciously, civilly, and socially as upright in the spectrum of citizenry. You know this. On the other hand, the state of single mom is a condition of civil degradation. You see? Which wrecks from the carcasses of slavery that was abolished by the U.S. 13th Amendment, right? In 1865, right? Women, particularly women of youth, will instinctively evolve toward sources of power, strength, nourishment. The attraction is as much an inherent trait as it is natural because they themselves come from the great God as seeds of God men. And it must not be forgotten in all her essences and purpose, she is a goddess, a divine producer and a sustainer of life. That's why I always tell women, you are Maya, the God that produced food and life, without a fact, without a contradiction. A melanin sister may openly display some degree of detest for the other man, but nonetheless, she recognizes him as the source which she must ask for favors. Think about what I'm saying. This is by years of design, and it's not a daily accident. especially since the Moorish men have been systematically displaced from any role as founder and national fathers. In fact, the Moorish male in the USA are dead last in political, national, independent, and economical powers, more than any other man on earth. His women are reluctantly aware the so-called misnomer white man owns and controls all the material things that she wants or needs. Look at it, Gucci, Louis, and look at these people, they be looking crazy. And when we put that on, especially people that's not rich and shouldn't be buying that stuff, you feel good when you put that crap on. I feel good when I put this t-shirt on. I feel good when I put my tunics on. I feel good when I put this kufi on, AKA bonnet, you know? But the woman, they know this. He is made to appear as absolute ruler, while her natural man is secretly held powerless, although also through the laws. Most African Moorish women born in America do not have high lifetime or godly expectations of their men. Just ask them. I know a lot of men that's into the science, they wives don't give a poo diddly. So, and if they got kids, what's up with the boys? What's up with the girls? Because I got all type of books for Moorish girls, all type of stuff. I even got books that don't got nothing to do with Moorish science. But when you read them, it all go together for its culture. I got historical things that works, like the conspiracy to destroy black boys and girls. You know, it's so much that we can use as tools to bring our babies up. This is the rerun from historical programming. Earlier in their youth, most husband fathers' admirations are chipped away under the guise of doom, expectations, failure, and doubt. With all due respect, I love when people get their bag. But I just don't like it when we make the bag to make us look like crap. No disrespect. A lot of Tyler Perry movies, it just be the men crazy and it's crazy. Why can't we make movies of or a plethora of movies of all the good men? Because there's a lot of good men, and the majority of men want to be fathers. I'm telling you, even if the relationship don't work with the woman, the man still want to be a father. I know this. And the form silent mental rejections of the trust, hope, and dependency necessary to promote sound companionship and strong marriage bonds. When a person say, well, I love you, and I said, that's all it is you want with this woman? When I talk about counseling and Moorish counseling, when I be talking to people, even when I was in the church, I said, love. I said, that's cliche. I said, so when the love gone, when all this stuff gone, what if your woman get fat? What if he get fat? What if this? What do y'all like in common? Are y'all business? Because love is the action word. What do you love about him? What do y'all love doing together? Do y'all love studying? Do you read together? None of that. None of that. So what do we got in common? So shoot, we just paying bills. Because I can do good by myself. A woman can do good by herself. It's cliche, well, I can do bad by myself. That's crazy. Why would she even have those negative thoughts in your hippocampus? And when the mind is programmed to compete for physical survival, it is the food, shelter, and clothing that become the reward in man-made games of life. Think about it. Think about the health of the kids. I seen a woman, she said she feed this boy McDonald's every day she take him to school. I said, so no cooked food, no fruit, no vegetables, no man showing that, or no man cooking? Or if you went through that before, you should say, okay, well, this is what I want. Let me engulf myself in righteousness. Let me find the right man. This is your job. We talk about competition. It's a part of human nature to gravitate with one source of survival. Yet what single moms are experiencing is the results of what will happen when a nation's, and no disrespect, when a nation's natural rights to feed itself are suppressed or destroyed. Moorish women who have yet to proclaim their nationality either fail to realize the death blow to a nation. Because what do you think the prophet, now who is holding up in his hand? The woman. It's the straight, we supposed to, it's all about her. Which is dealt through the state of the single mom. You know? Yeah. So do not see the social scars from this legal entrapment, because this is an entrapment. And sister, think the single parent family and the infamous my baby's daddies are another pressing fad or style like Converse, Gucci, Reebok. Now you got everybody, all these kids want Louis Vuitton shoes. Oh, it's crazy. Then it's gonna change again. Actually, all falsehoods will pass. They just pass. Then they come back. Look at the style. The style now, it comes and goes. Everything was tight. Now everything baggy. Short. This. All this. Think about what I'm saying in love. Peace, 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 peace. The single mom too will go, but in a conflict which cannot be told in words. Women who do not retain a national scope pay little attention to the socially induced tags placed upon men, especially noble men. And often they consider it normal to hear their fathers, sons, and brothers propagate as a black suspect about this high, this weight, a deadbeat dad, because this is what we watching, an inmate, prisoner, or a convicted felon, because that's what they watching on TV, Power, all these shows, that come on TV, every show with the black men on there is killing drugs. Big Meech now is killing and drug is shooting, or we just got out of prison, or we crazy. Everything. And so that's what we think the man is, because show me on TV where it's a good depiction of us. I'll wait. It ain't none. Dropout, a player, a drug dealer, a con man, a pimp, a hustler. He shot, he paroled, or a thug, or he might be a homosexual, AIDS victim, drug addict, dead, etc., with an occasional military or college service story. All the same. Like I could do it with my eyes closed. So-called black women striving for success or living from day to day in the European power structure are much like babies in pain, even when social media uses us against each other. Like the high value man. And then men be dependent. I said, well, you a high value man because you make some money? Well, was she a high value too? No, we're talking about things that go together. Our culture is off. Things be messing us up. I'll be like, dude, I ain't with that just because a man saying no stuff like that. All right, how many marriages you had? You had 2 or 3 marriages. Okay, so what we talking about? Are you angry? Are you bitter? You should be bringing people together, telling them about qualities and showing how men and women come together. Because you can have this income, I can have this income, and then that's mathematics. I can make 50, she can make 50, that's 100. I can make 100, she can make 100, that's 200. I can make 100, she can make 50, that's 150. What we talking about? And then if we creating, I ain't talking about what we got behind our last name that we create on our own when we get done working 8 or 10 hours for the man. We don't gotta have no closet full of stupid clothes. We could be doing business and commerce as we should be doing. I be telling men this all day, but they don't be wanting to listen. They be buying all the stuff on holidays, toys, then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again. Not showing kids value, not showing kids how to what? Be successful. This is the form of grooming, but we don't hear us. We don't. All we do is get mad. They feel the inevitable hurts inflicted upon a divided nation, but cannot diagnose or tell the cause of their unrest. They know there is something very unnatural and ungodly about their scarcity of men, marriages, family ties, and social intercourse being in harmony with other nations. This is facts. Some sisters will refuse to take the father downtown because they sense there is something wrong. They do. And unexplained about it. Often what they may determine as love for my baby daddies is actually the divine bond of the true godparents, now hinged together at the child. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. I hope y'all catching me. The Latin powers of the Moorish goddesses are so omnipotent and magnanimous until it is totally incomprehensible to the finale minds of the earth. But because they are held hostage outside of their true nation, these powers are often misdirected or used against the very ones they love. I tell sisters, if you're looking for a noble and you honest, you have to be around nobles. You have to be around people. You have to find your community. And no matter if it's on the internet, man, you have to, because people ain't going to churches no more, or they ain't going to temples. Everybody's talking about the temple. This ain't never stepped in the temple in their damn life, or no Masonic hall. I know this for a fact. All the stuff they talk about come from TikTok. Point blank. Point blank. And we're not having these conversations. We should be having solidarity, because we got the money. We got the money. So the countless situations over 4, 5, 6 decades, eons of time, she has used her authorized domination to save the lives of the Moorish men from genocidal extinction. And this is what I'm saying. I'm really giving honor to my empresses, but we're checking that unconsciousness at the door. Meanwhile, extracting necessities from the very table of oppression that holds rule over her and her own. All so-called African, Moorish Americans are familiar with the terms like prisoners, deadbeat dads, my baby daddy, single parent family, the single mom, slavery. However, it is not often that one is aware of the legal and historical cords that connect these social statuses. It is even rarer for the single mom, acronym SM, to be recognized as an institution or as a catalyst for anti-autonomy of her nation. And there are millions of single moms within the borders of the US. And some people think it is an expected misfortune at best. Yet single mom is about as accidental as guns and drugs in any urban ghetto. Think about it. Or as unplanned, yeah. It could be unplanned, that's what they say, or misfortune at best, right? That's what they be saying. Unplanned as the black males, which just happened today. That's what they say. That's what they say. So when we talk about the components of this, there are 3 major sides to producing such large segments of people labeled the single mom, because that's a label. One is prevention. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali, even in all teachings of culture and our holy instructions for the children, is right in there. Consider thou, art, a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support. Upon thee also it depended, whether the child of the bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, a useful or a worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instructions and season his mind with the maxims of truth. That's in your Moorish Quran 23:1-3. This is to say that execution of the creative God powers in a man and a woman to produce a child must be equally as responsible for it after care as the Holy Father of the universe and all his creations. And it further stands with reasoning that this first law, if adhered to, and with the climbing of its subsequent 12-step ladder, that's also in your Moorish Quran, chapter 23, 8-13. Single moms would be prevented with all this, and there is no better eradicator of an institution of the acronym single moms, the SM, than security of an upright nation. Come on. Only without the principles of a clean and pure nation in their protection, every woman needs to fulfill her divine and natural status. It's a government responsibility. What do you mean? It's the responsibility of every government to have protective care of its distressed citizens. Stay with me, stay in context, especially its widows, widowers, and orphans. Governments, through its courts and bureaus, child support enforcement, child abuse agencies, welfare, social securities, all that, etc., are necessary entities when parents and children relationships run amok. This is what I'm just saying what they say, or into ultimately adversity beyond individual control. That's when you become a willing obligor. Stay with me. When you be like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm this, but you willingly participated in that. You willingly went to the hospital. You willingly got on assistance. So now you're gonna say you're gonna get all that and not abide by their rules? Contraire move, frere. No, no, no. Should have read the contract. Should have read the contract. Islamic governments and other higher civilizations have polygamous laws, and yet another remedy in preventing and or curing societies of single moms. We talk about polygamy versus bigamy. I'm telling you, that's why a lot of Americans here, it's no culture. You know, you see here, and we be like, oh, women be like, well, or a man got a woman, he been cheating on her all his life and she know. But if that's the case, if you loved her, y'all might as well be a family. But see, it's frowned upon because there's no culture. We have no culture. I'm telling you, and people been Americanized on some dumb stuff. But you have a whole bunch of kids by different baby daddies and blah, 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 and go through all this cheating stuff. It's, to me, it's asinine. And all money being spread when all the money could be in one house. Millionaires, successful, smart children, fathers around, everything, community. But we don't think like that. Our minds is destroyed. Think about what I'm saying. The need for single moms. Is it? Is it? It brings us to the subject and warning. In the U.S., single moms are needed. Why? This is why they are produced. Why? The U.S. has never functioned without a steady diet of slaves. You saying single moms are slaves? Yeah. De facto citizens and other chattel commercial properties, collectively called straw men, from the acronym NBC Productions, single moms, right, are a necessity for population control, stability for the nationless enterprises, and by the sale of their certificates of live birth, no disrespect, to certificates of death, the females can and will produce what? Nanites or neonites of the European open markets without all the government concern of licensed husbands, family, stabilities, and other employment, and support systems. We talk about free enterprise. It's founded upon the theory of what? Supply and demand. The success of supply and demand rests upon creating a marketable product for a needed area, and then sells the value of that product for a profit. Through single creating a market place for the single moms, the production of generations of property are controlled. Girls are raised to enhance further single moms, and moms the production of generations over and over and over, and the male feeds the agencies of law enforcement, religious and bull markets of Wall Street prison systems. Think about this. The single parent family featuring single moms are byproducts of a government whose foundation is based upon gender inequality and racial discrimination. The original Constitution of the United States was unequivocally written by free white Masons, men from free white Mason men. Esoterically, this great document has not been changed. The so-called Negro, black, colored, African American, the Negro woman, were freed by the U.S. congressional ratification of the 13th Amendment in 1865. So if that's the case, there's no need for no 14th, no 15th, no other amendments. Think about this. And any Negro promulgating the 14th Amendment, any other amendments, got to be a fool. Think about what I'm saying with love. But the supply of the single moms created during slavery was still in much demand. Misnomer white women were freed 55 years later by the 19th Amendment. Read it for yourself. And tell me, am I telling you anything false? No. The status of the single mom is among the first order of business for the pure and clean nation of the Moorish Americans. And for now, in order to see them, we must look underneath the misnomer black robes of the U.S. Justice to find her among the skid marks, stained jurisprudence of the 14th and the 15th Amendment. Think about it. Let's read it. And then there's no reason for none of that. And then here we listen to all these people on the internet when I said this stuff can be destroyed academically in 1.2 seconds. Too simple. And anybody with a tittle of wisdom knows facts. These amendments, the 14th and the 15th, are ex post facto to the 13th Amendment and the U.S. Constitution, with all 20 ratifications, with all 20 sections. They are in lawful violations of the principle and standards of nationality, citizenship, as required by all other nations of the earth. Right? When you look at the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment, just read it. Read it. I challenge everybody to read it. And later teachings, I'm going to show how these amendments are undercover extensions to the institution of slavery. I'm telling you, abolished 3 years earlier. In fact, y'all, the enactment of these congressional laws began the period of mental slavery, which you have now. Our prophet told us this back in 1915. And all this time later, the dead badges of law will be downloaded through its states and local courts into the personal, everyday lives of Moorish people born in America. You got to know this. This level of jurisprudence, when applied in the lower courts, assume control of the inalienable dominion of father, mother, child. These are just synopses that I talked about this in college. Creatures, a little known phenomenon. The U.S. Justice forces innocence to accuse herself, and all rights are stolen. The peace of society depended on justice, the happiness of individuals, on the safe enjoyment of all their possessions. You see? Even where I'm at, I got 15 minutes left, good. So when we unveil these things, the well-publicized and socially accepted status dubbed the so-called single mom has devastated self-enslavement side effects, because that ain't how we rock today. We should be correcting things. We should. And these is facts. It's true for the so-called black people of the U.S. The single mom's popularity, the pseudo-independence, is designed to allow vanity to shield the millions of broken hearts, broken families, broken people created in the aftermath of each claimant. Isn't it ironic, Empress, when all those singers, Beyonce and all them, Cardi B, they talk about they don't need no man, an effing Negro, what's the other girl name? Sierra. Yeah. All of them married, ain't they? Really? Well, goddamn.
With kids.
Well, goddamn. But they all telling you, men ain't nothing, he ain't nothing, but they all married. Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably from.
Open it to see. I can hear it.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying, y'all, and I'm a bad bee, and I don't need no N-I-G-G-A. That, huh? Think about it. And when you look at the age of these people, they not no spring chickens. It is effectively promulgated in the media. All through, single mom has become a status symbol. I hear women talk about I'm the mama and the daddy. I be going to spit my juice out. I hear this stuff. All you gotta do is look on social media. It's crazy. Sought after and obtained by millions of today's sisters of childbearing ages. I told y'all, when I first met my Empress, when we used to date, I used to work at the Christ Enrichment Center. I used to tutor kids. I used to tell my wife all the stories of these little bad, fresh-ass kids. I ain't lying. She think, I'm telling you. I went to school with a chick, I ain't gonna say her name, and if she on here, you know I ain't lying. I went to school with this chick and she went to the club every day. And when the school dropped her son off, he have a backpack full of work that ain't never been done down there 6 months ago, letters from the school. So I'm like, well, how is he still going to school? So he come to me for after school studies. I'm like, is your mama reading this stuff? I don't know. I say, what's your mama name, mama? I say, what's your name? I don't know. He got his shoes on the wrong foot.
Little man.
Yeah, little man. He got his shoes on the wrong feet every day. He got on different shoes, boots every day though. Leather coats. I'm looking at him like, damn, I want to see what he gonna wear today. Shit.
Fresher than you.
He's fresher than me. I'm like, God damn. The little joker coming in there, when I say shitty sharp from head to toe, polo draw, polo sock, whoop, 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 whoop. I'm like, oh, she dressing this little rascal like the man she want. Ain't no disrespect. Ain't no disrespect. But he dumber than a damn board. Dumber than a box of candy. I'm serious. He a candy cigarette. You know, you remember them candy cigarettes? They was nasty as hell. I'm just being honest. And every sister that I was tutoring, they all was like that. Except, and no disrespect, except it was one sister that used to, the mom worked for my dad, and she did have she was divorced, and she remarried this European, this white dude, but the dad was in the kid's life because the dad was their karate instructor. And it was a big difference. It was a big difference. I could tell my wife this. That's when I first met her. I could be like, and when I met the kids, that woman was divorced and married another man, and the man was in their life, and she was saying how important it was for that man to be in her life, raising them boys came, they were smart as hell. They was helping me tutor the kids. I used to tell my wife this all day. I said, I got 3 little black boys that's on it. Because he was like, well, that's what we do every day. The dad, he used to come up there, he was like, well, we do karate, we go over the activities, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Then I take him home, after we go through all this and this, that, and the other. I'm like, wow. And then the stepdad did the same thing. See? This all I'm saying. This all I'm saying. It makes a difference. Single, alone, is lawful status. The IRS filing, parent is a lawful status. Family is a lawful status. It is. Single moms. What? Single mom is the Asiatic copycat version of the European single parent family. Yet while one is in the semblance of the other, the effects upon their respective people are nearly reversed. Did y'all catch that? The single parent family members come from within the structure of the, no disrespect, the other skin nation is of the nation and supports the nation that now supports her when we comparing and contrasting. And by nature, most Europeans, is no disrespect, prioritize family values on the same list as lust, greed, material, and personal gain. Carnal love is keen to them because their greatest ideal of God, we know it's something dead. Everything, that's why I be telling you, everything to somebody is dead. It ain't no disrespect. Dead president, dead money, dead God, dead this, dead African prophets, Yahshua, Jesus, whatever you want to call it. So we just making this, how can I say? We just want to illuminate this. We can correct ourselves. Because don't nobody owe us nothing. We owe it to ourselves. And a woman can't break a child without a man and vice versa into this world. So still, those are decision making. Those are decision making. So no one should never bash no one. Because I believe you know what you're getting into when you're dealing with this person. And it's potential that if you have a baby by this person, they also be just as crazy as they was before. You can't sit up here and tell me you ain't know it has some potential if you're dealing with a person and then come out and be like, yeah, it was potential for them to be off the chain because they was off the chain before. But what I'm saying, as men raising their kids, this is the flip side. A man that want to be in his kid's life he gonna be in his kid life regardless. If the woman put him on I'm gonna say welfare. Lord help me. If the man on child support or going through that, regardless, if the judge say, well, them just gifts, well, that's just gonna be a dilemma. He gonna have to get over that mountain. I'm talking about myself. And then and when my daughter and she comes, she'll be like, well, no, my dad was always in my life. My dad always raised me. I got pictures of my dad every day. My dad used to take me to school, pick me up, do this, work out, everything. So regardless of this, always in her life. Regardless if a woman want money from you or not, who cares? Because when that child mind develop and they see and they look back, they're gonna be like, nah, mama, you own some B to the S, point blank. And the child gonna be able to say no and be able to speak for themselves because the relationship the child have with their father. And I'm a granddad now. This is what I'll be saying. So I just want us to understand this. Even when you understand your religious laws, it's laws, the things that override this government. I'm telling y'all got to know this. Just like most governments, Christian and Islamic, etc., they make a grand distinction between biological fathers and legal fathers. Whenever the mother of a child brings the father into the U.S. courts, a paternity suit is then activated. Listen to what I'm saying. The state government is then given assumable jurisdiction of the child when? Immediately. This simply means that the parents, predominantly the mother, are the plaintiffs, the render their parental rights to the discretion of the United States through its state and local courts. She or he surrenders to the courts their parental rights, subject to the adjudication under its laws. This may seem like a harmless means to child support payments or the best way to resolve a disagreement between two people who had agreed to the ultimate result of copulation. But the shocking truth is that the laws is a black woman is not a citizen and therefore not considered a whole person and therefore ineligible to be a lawful parent in a court of law. That's what they don't know. Because it was illegal to be Negro, black, and colored and African American. Think about what I'm saying. So they had to make you up some fictional shit for your ass. This is how the kids be took out of jurisdiction, and you would never get them back. I'm educating. I'm educating. It is only natural for the so-called Negro, black, or colored woman, even if she's a practicing attorney at law, to not be conscious to the law stats of parental rights. And these rights are usually assumed and are generally not considered by potential single moms. So what are parental rights? Parental rights, child custody ruling, because when you go through the courts, off top, men have no rights. If anybody get over here and talk about you lying, we go to court, a man have no rights. That woman got to give your ass rights. My empress right here, she know I'm telling the truth. Man, you go to court, you don't have no rights. That woman got to give your black beeply bleep some rights. And then don't let y'all have an agreement and they get rid of originally what you owe her. She can change her mind and wake up one day and feel some type of way because you're doing great and say, you know what? I want to reactivate this. And the judge ain't going to ask why, like what the hell going on? Not going to look at the situation. That's all they care about because that's payday for them. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know, man. All for some food stamps and for some food stamps and some cheap housing. For some change. And you talk about a woman, you supposed to be doing this, you a boss, but you want welfare. You want the government all in your business for some change. For some government cheese. Even though that cheese good as hell though. But you know, I'm just being real, man. And having these real conversations that we should have. Because I love everyone. But we can't continue to put a Band-Aid on things and act like these stuff be normal in our society. That's all I'm saying. And then everybody be walking around quiet, and this is the reason why we losing. And we continue to produce a whole society of children that don't have a connective to that masculine aspect, especially our men, our young boys. They need it. And we can't let the government create the big brothers and big sisters and all these programs, and they giving our kids medicine. I work in that field. No, people need to be like, let me deal with these brothers. Come out your pocket. We spend all our money on everything else. That's what I'll be saying. Niggertainment. Your kid dressed up and don't even know his ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and he going to the 6th grade. He don't know how to spell his name. And you talking to me about some more science? Man, please. This is what I've been telling people. I said, your kid is dumber than a log. That baby daddy stuff, that whole stuff needs to be over. You know? Understand this. The U.S. making of the baby daddy. That's what that comes from. In the United States, don't you know the Constitution protects parental rights unless said rights are what? Relinquished by who? The parents. Through what? The submission, what? To the courts. And when you go down there, ladies, you're doing it. You just don't know how to read a contract. And ain't nobody gonna tell you this is the truth. Children fathered outside of marriage bonds are legally classified as illegitimate or black bastards. Ask any law person, they'll tell you to do like, well, who you been talking to? That's why I say, do not take your affairs to the European courts. I try to tell our brothers and sisters that all day. Don't do it. If you want to go to a union, I'll do it. Don't go get no stupid ass marriage license today. Why? Because that's a third party contract. You don't have to do that. The law says, if you ain't gonna do with your religious rights, come to us. But they ain't gonna tell you all the ramifications of it. It's a third party contract. I'm telling you. That's why your religious laws trump all that crap. Ask your Mormon or your Latter-day Saint, do they do anything of the government? I bet you they say no. If they want to, they will, but they don't. So-called misnomer black people, 3/5 of a person in the Constitution, but now made a legal person in the 14th Amendment. And any lawyer tell you that person stuff is a facade. They're actually defined as U.S. aliens or corporate property. An illegitimate child is protected by the 14th Amendment as a person or property within the meaning of the Equal Protection Clause. Got him. This is to say, once the mother files charges against the biological father, listen to this, y'all, because this is the domino effect. For the so-called child support or paternity case, a host of granted privileges are what? Permanently lost. Perhaps lost is not the correct word, though. After all, the court is conveniently sitting there, downtown. It is really the mother with child who voluntarily goes there and gives her and the father's parental rights to roam. And you talk all this stuff, you smart. You go all the way down there because you want to check. Why? Because that's what you're going on. I want some child support. That's what you want. But if you had one baby daddy messed up, okay, then I ain't gonna worry about that. But then we have more. That's the setup. That's the setup. And then you catch a woman in her lower self, she'll just have babies by somebody to get a welfare check. I ain't got to say a chick name. I went to school with a chick like that. I bet you my empress know her, who I'm talking about. She had a whole bunch of tattoos. Huh? You know what I'm talking about, don't you, empress? Okay, so when I be talking about stuff, I ain't just blowing smoke up nobody real, and I'm telling you, real life. And she said it. Well, shit, they gonna pay for them. This girl had kids by every damn hustler in the city down there that she think was getting money. I'm telling you. I'm telling you facts. And there is only one major question with which the court of paternities seeks an answer. Because if it was me and the woman had all these babies, I'm cutting you off like, clearly you ain't learned, because this ain't for you. This is for assistance for a while till you get on your feet. How the hell you got 14 babies and everyone you on welfare? Like, this crazy as hell. Is he the father? Any form of a yes answer is then a guilty verdict. Guilty. Guilty of what crime, sir? In case you missed, something she has brought you here before the court in violation of fathering an illegitimate child, a black bastard out of wedlock. See, that's what they tell you. That's what it is. You have been found guilty of being the father and fined X amount of dollars per month. And if you fail in arrears of this restitution beyond the state misdemeanor limitations, you will become a fugitive felon and in fucking prison. Excuse my candor. Hell yeah, that's crazy. Yes. So is this treason? I mean, what this extortion? Is that what you're telling me? This extortion. Okay, so if a woman don't want to have a baby, she can go get a fucking abortion. Okay, so if the man don't want to deal with the child, what? He got to pay? You see how the psychosis of this? Now, in any court, when a guilty verdict and sentence is imposed, someone is then what? A criminal, right? When you go to court and there's someone guilty, that means someone lost. Or we dealing with a criminal case? Yes. But there is a lot more, not on the surface of these proceedings. The mother has given the European court's jurisdiction over the child and herself. Now it will dictate to her what she must and must not do, and the courts will allow her the privileges to oversee its child. What? Cheap house and all this, but better not be no man there. Back in the day, you remember back in the day when they used to give you that little women that housing, baby, and a social worker would come over there and pop up, and you'd be like, oh, damn, baby, hide your shoes. Put that cheap ass rabbit fur in the basement. Oh, my stomach hurt, man. I got to get the hell out of here, man. Oh, Lord. The parental line is broken and certain our rights, normally due to a natural father. The father's genealogy is legally castrated. The power of the courts cuts the cord. That's the cutting the cord. Think about this, man. Think about this. The courts then become the father and assume the power to what? Designate guardianship of his child. Once the court has lawfully degraded the biological father to a criminal, he not only has a criminal record now that can and will be used against him and his potential properties, but he will likely become officially a freaking slave according to the 13th Amendment. This is how the United States, via courts, which hold title to the misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored, legally produces my baby daddies. And lastly, and most important to remember, the several states, via the court systems in the United States, by way of the 1868 Congress, was given complete jurisdiction and guardianship of the so-called Negroes in the ratification of the de facto 14th Amendment. You see? And for those who doubt or may not understand or are in denial of this illegitimate but lawful fact, you gotta read history. And its records is stuff from in 1922. You go to those that know the law in the city hall and among the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will gladly give you a favorable reply. How I know? Because I've done it. That's why I've been laughing at these clowns. They will not come on here. The vibration and the frequency gonna check you. Why? Because I'm coming with precedent and law, and everything else is bull crap. All that magical, well, you can do this. Give me the precedent and law. Give me the doc number. The Free Information Act. All you lying. I know this for a fact. And through the courts, the states have the power to change the name of the property at will. Be it from mother to guardian, Negro to black, father to criminal, child to bastard, or innocent to guilty. The court owns the assets of every Negro in the United States. That's why the prophet warned, and I continue to tell you, do not take your affairs to the European courts. Don't do it. Why? Don't do it. You don't have to. If you're part of a religious society, you don't have to do none of that. Lawfully. Well, if the damn Mormon and the Jehovah's Witnesses understand their religious laws, if the Amish understand their religious laws, you should too. The problem is brothers and sisters are not a part of a culture. They don't have religious laws because they don't understand language and linguistics when you navigating, because we're dealing with a whole bunch of uneducated people that don't understand really, and they using this stuff to try to hustle their own people. But they can't come to me with that. We're going to destroy that in 1.3 seconds. Every time they come with that fugazi. Every time they come with that crap. And once in the courts, you are guaranteed to one thing. You and your child and the father will not come out the same as you would in. I'm telling you. There can be no winners when the plaintiff and defendants both properties owned by the states. When you get married, read your marriage license. Your marriage license. Here is you don't got a marriage license. And when you know better, you do better. You don't have to do that. When you're part of your religious community, you don't have to do that. You don't have to involve no third party in poo diddly. You being unaware of this legalized lynching. The single mom senses the fatherhood status being stripped from her, being stripped from her fallen mate. Now chant the ghetto victory mantra by referring to him as merely what? My baby's daddy. That's what we revert to, though. That's just my baby daddy. Hell, they even made a song about it. Remember? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You remember that song? How I go? I bet you. Damn. How that song go, y'all? It's just my baby daddy. Yeah. Who made that song? If y'all know who made that song, tell me. I could have looked it up real fast, but yeah, it was the song called "That's Just My Baby Daddy." That's just my baby daddy. Now here it is. That's a mantra. That's a vibration, and you put that out there. Girls be like, "That's my jam." Would they be in the car with their kids? Yep. That's just my baby daddy, and the kids goofy ass be bumping like that. That's stupid. My baby daddy is purely street, and another term used predominantly by who else? The single moms. Rarely do any mothers realize this term deludes the parental father to a male who has been systematically void of all fatherhood rights. From a true legal prospectus, the courts of Rome are now the father of his child. And this terminology basically means there is now a third party, aka courts, standing between the parental father and his bloodline. See? And my baby daddy simply means he's not the father, but the paper dollar daddy. So my time is up, man. I can go on and on, but it's more. I just wanted to put that out there in the world. I love all my brothers and sisters. I love everyone. But when we talk about black, ain't no such thing as black. Nothing. Ain't no such thing as black marriages. Put dead in front of everything you call black. And when you don't understand your religious laws, I'm telling you, that's what happens. We fall right back into our ways. I try to listen, man. Because this is not just about our empresses. This is about men too. Because a lot of these boys become men. Think about what I'm saying. And a lot of these men become fathers. Some are baby daddies, some are fathers. But what I'm saying and what I'm telling my brothers and sisters, no matter what religion you believe in, no matter what it is, you should be teaching your babies. And if you're a man, you in the union, you should be teaching these kids skills, real skills. Real skills, because I'm so tired of seeing all these kids, all they do is play basketball, and then when they don't make it, it ain't nothing they want to do. They don't know how to do shit. But the girls know how to do everything. But the boys don't know how to do nothing. That's something wrong. So you telling me mothers are raising the daughters and just loving the boys? Because if the girls can do all this stuff, wash clothes, cook, know how to pay their bills, know how to apply for things, do this, blah, 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 and the boys don't know how to do nothing, it's a problem. If the girls be a part of these clubs and these reading clubs and all this stuff, and the boys don't have no diversity, it's a problem. And we have this internet today where we can connect to righteousness and connect to mentors and things, and we don't do that and use some of our money, a little change and organization, and get tax-exempt receipt and be about a culture and build our own infrastructure. Hey man, y'all see what just happened in Minnesota with them damn Somalians and all that free money they've been getting. And I tell people, if you apply for everything. Stop complaining and get in the game. Why? Because we ain't in the game to do nothing illegal. We just need to link up and do what we need to do until it happens. Push, persistence until success happens. We got too many people with skills. But see, everybody want to pull. People be coming together to do real things, and we can too. Like I tell people, we can. We can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got to use this internet for positive things. We got to say, let's trust something and make it happen, because it can. We can have our own infrastructure, our learning centers, our daycares, our non-emergency medical transport. We can have all that on our own. Our own thrift store like a Goodwill, and people donate and refurbish goods, stuff that we getting donated, and we can give people a tax and receipt, and we can put good stuff back out in the world and make a profit as well. The Goodwill do it. The thrift stores do it. That's 100% profit. Why? Because everything is being donated and they getting grants. You telling me we can't do it? The BBT can't do it? All we need is our building. We are a one-stop shop. And this will bring good stuff to our community because we have everything for the culture. And with that being said, man, thank y'all for listening to me today. I hope y'all be safe, and going to this so-called new calendar year, whatever calendar you want to call it, whoop-de-damn-do. You going into another dispensation or whatever you want to call it, man, I hope you do some things better. I hope you rededicate yourself. I hope if you fall off that bike, I hope you get back on that damn bike. Because let me tell you something about a toothpick in the eye. And I know this is how men act because I had a toothpick in my eye. When I was in school, when I knew I was effing up, when I was in college and stuff, and my parents and my dad was paying for school, a lot of stuff I stopped coming around because I had to be like, damn, I had to admit I wasn't doing shit. When I used to say I'm gonna do this and do it and wouldn't do it, I wouldn't come around. I'd be telling men, sometimes in life we have to be like, man up and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Man up and be like, I need help. We have to do that, and if we don't, that's a character flaw for men. It's okay if you don't know some shit. Get with the right people that know some shit. Especially if I know somebody that knows some shit, excuse my candor, and I don't know nothing, I need to be around them. I need to be around them to know, to learn, to take it. I need to be it. Just because you're a man don't mean you know everything. You might not even have that type of upbringing as some others. That's not a character flaw. What that is, that's an opportunity to learn from somebody that has something that you feel is a good quality. And then you can teach that to your babies. This is what I'm talking about. And until we do that, man, all we're going to be doing is continue to be complaining, and I deal with solutions. As we going forward into this new year, man, positive vibrations. Delete all that negative stuff, all them scams, because all these scams on the internet is coming from your own people. Get rid of all that negative vibration. If you want to learn, come. Hell, and then start joining us on StreamYard, for you can talk, for you can ask questions. Our doors are open. We want to take this way further than what it is this year as we going, because I'm touching a lot of different races. I want to touch my people. I gave y'all the analogy just like Cheers. I like to go with places they know my name. And me doing academia, me graduating from Cleary back in Michigan, and Howell, which where the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan stayed, me getting my dual master's degree out here in Grand Canyon University, I've had the opportunity, and I have elders and I have people that I can reach to that's professors and 3 times over, Scottish Rite Masons. I got allies. I'm connected to Harvard and Oxford libraries. I got over 1 million books and documents. Like, I'm trying to make this comment to my people, because I could easily step away from this, which I'm doing a lot more as I'm getting busy in my real life, and be super busy. But it's not just about the money for me. It's easy for me to sell books to all these college students. It's easy for me to go to the bookstore and all these places where I freaking all these different colleges and go and just talk to the college students and show them what I have to offer. Why? Because that's what they into. That ain't a hard sell for me when I go up to GCU and I be in the library and they have my name in the vested view and I show college students how to write in APA format. That's not a hard sell. But for my people, this should be simple, because that's why they're studying us to a T. And I'm a teacher. I'm going to teach and make my living. And so I continue to tell my brothers and sisters again, I'm a source. I'm anointed and consecrated. I'm telling y'all, I have a gift and I'm willing to share it with my people. And a workman is due his hire. I have everything we need for our culture, from regalia to everything. And if you want to try to get land, I can show you how to do all this righteously as a community. And you can be a witness to be like, man, this man showed me and my brothers how to get our land. We got land next to them. We doing this. We building our own community off the grid, our own with our families. It can be done. And so I'm telling brothers right now, if you fell off that bike, get your punk ass back on. Excuse my candor. And stop having a pity party for yourself. If you done made it this damn far, you done made it this far out of all the childhood trauma you had, and you done waited to an adult to say you want to give up now, and you done survived all the physical pain, and you done got to a point where it's just so-called mental and spiritual, man, you better build yourself up. You better get your ass in that gym, you better get into your studies, and you better tell your wife that you're on a spiritual journey, and she better come along with you, or she ain't down with you. Point blank. Point blank. You better get your ass in that gym and get your body right and get your mind right. That's the only advice I got for any nobles on here that's struggling anything. I look at them, I say, I'm looking at your physical temple. You ain't in shape. You easy defeated. So what you doing in the spare time? You working and going home to sleep. It's no balance. Working ain't nothing, but you got to balance and find some joy. You got to be able to sit down and talk to that woman and be like, listen, this is the balance we need. This is the joy. You got to get your vessel all the way right. And your physical body got to be right. Because God can't dwell in no junk. Your physical temple got to be right. And if we a group of brothers that work out, you need to do it with us. And when you ain't, and you can't do it, you need to do it on your own. I'm telling you, man, this is triple C's going further. Commitment, communication, and consistency. It ain't about that no more. Because when I was a child, I thought like a child. I dressed like a child. I act like a child. I lied like a child. I was uncommitted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away all childish ways. Why? Because I can be honest and tell a person, no, man, I don't have the aptitude to do this. Or no, man, I don't have the time to do this. No, man, right now, at this point, I can't do it, but I'm with what's going to go on. Whatever we're going to do, I'm with it. We can't do these things and act like it's normal and then time just go by. We can't do that. We got to have enough cojones to be like, you know what? I can't handle this right now because I got too much on my plate because time goes on. We might have to go over this bridge again. We might have to be put in position, and then the person be like, "Nah, I don't think I want to, deal with this person in this leadership position." Why? Because what happened last time when we were supposed to do this and do this, nothing ever happened, and then nobody say nothing. And then when people say something, we act like it's snapping. It's like, no, that's not. And this is everything in life. When I was in ministry, I used to tell people, stop volunteering just because it's ministry. Stop volunteering just because it's ministry. People be all caught up in the moment. And I said, after excitement gone, then what? You know your ass ain't got time to be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. This is what I be telling people. Stop getting caught up in the moment. If you don't have the ability and the time to do something, just be a part of the plan as much as you can. That's honorable. That's what I be telling people. Do what you know you can do. And it ain't nothing else required of you. That's why I said sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. Clean up your own first. Don't keep adding stuff on your plate and then you look at stuff and nothing is completed. This is what I be telling men. It's like you got too much on your plate. Why? Because you ain't complete nothing. You looking at somebody else's food while yours getting cold. You trying to continue add on your plate, but you ain't completing none of the stuff you have. So if you got 3 things on your plate and you trying to add another one and you ain't completed none of this, man, nothing's going to get done. Because what happens? I'm overwhelmed. Or they say, oh, here we go, anxiety. Let me tell you what anxiety is your ass biting off more than you can chew. That's anxiety. You biting off more than you can chew. You a yes man. And you don't have to be that. Understand that. And I tell everyone this from love. It's one body in many parts. The head don't say to the hand, it want to be the hand. The foot don't say to the leg, it want to be the leg. The nose don't say to the eye, it want to be the eye. The eye do the eye things, the nose do the nose things. And if you're asked to do some things, and if you have the time, the aptitude, and willing to learn, then you can say, yes, I have the time and the aptitude, willing to learn to do these things. But if not, a person don't have to take on no extra task. And that's in life. I remember when my empress first met me, and she can come and test. When I was the minister in all the churches in Flint, in 2 churches, I spoke just like this. When I first met my empress, she used to be like, well, babe, what you want me to do in the church? She'd tell you, I said, love me. All of them used to come to my wife, well, we want your Reverend Goodman wife to be on this board. I said, no, the hell you don't. I said, my wife ain't being on none of that shit if she don't want to. Ain't none of you old ass ladies finna be pressuring my wife to do shit. Excuse my candor. Not unless the Holy Spirit tell her to do. And if the Holy Spirit ain't working through another woman, and if my wife recognize that and she feel pressure, you don't have to do that. Your mission is to love me and love the Creator and love what we doing and study. That's it. And be a mother to the women that come to you and the young women and the men. That's it. That's it. And once a person understand that, you operate in your abilities. You operate in your God-given abilities. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling people this is true as we go on forward. Because time waits for no man. Believe what I'm saying. All I can talk about is real experiences for a person can look at that and be like, yeah, I can't come with no fugazi. I can't. That's not me. That's not how I preach or nothing. That's not how I teach nothing. I deal real life situations for a person can paint that picture and be like, you know what? You right. I've done this before. I've done this before. I overextended myself. I've been a yes man saying yes, knew when I should have said no, and damn, it turned out all bad for me. Because you can say no. You can say no. I tell people why you can't say no. Why you think you can't tell a person no? Why? Oh, it might make them feel this way. So freaking what? You have a choice. You have a choice to say yes or to say no and be okay with both situations. It's no pressure once you're guided by the Holy Spirit. Why? Because the Holy Spirit does the teaching, and the Holy Spirit will never put you in something that you can't handle. The Holy Spirit will check you. Just like I tell everybody what? Educate yourself on things before you jump into it. Don't volunteer for something and you know you don't have the time. And before I close, just like my mother used to tell all the other parts of the family, because they thought putting a family reunion together was real simple. They thought putting a family reunion was real simple because my mom would do it with grace. That's her skill. That's my mama's skill, putting family reunions together. That's one of my mama's tools in her toolbox. And then when other people try to do it, they see how hard it is. And then they don't say nothing, then the shit fall apart. And then they don't want to come around no more or nothing. And my mama be laughing. She'll call them. She'll be like, well, you know, the family reunion is in a couple months. Oh, well, Inez, you know, okay, but you ain't said that all this time. This is what I'm saying, man. Let's correct ourselves going forward. Let's be honorable. Let's stand up. Because I love all my brothers and sisters. It's just like we go to war and then brothers disappear. I tell brothers and sisters that, man. That's not how we do things. We have to get our personal heads right. We have to be a part of anything in life. Anything in life. Because if I was on Malik basketball team, if I was the player on my Noble team, and only time I showed up to the games, I bet you I don't play. If I was on a team and I missed practices, Malik might let me, but after a while, Malik will be like, well, I really don't need you. Why? Because it's going to be bad for the other players that show up every day, that come to practice. It's going to be like you accepting mediocrity. You accepting mediocre. And we don't accept that. And we know it can be better. Everything is a choice. And I love y'all. Peace, light, and illumination. Have an amazing day. If anybody want a copy of the Zoom of the Nation, an ebook, all you got to do is get with me. On Amazon, the book is, I think about $100. You can get the ebook from me today for only a $40 donation. Y'all know how to get with me. My email is Goodman, GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. Hit me up, let me know you want this ebook, and I'll make sure one of my muftis get it to you. Once again, GoodmanKhary @gmail.com. That's GOODMANKHARY @gmail.com. Everyone know my office number. Like I said, it's 602-473-8767. Leave a text. Please leave a text. If you want this book, Exhumed of the Nation is on Amazon for $89. You can get it. Ebook today and today only for only a $40 donation. It's packed with a lot of wisdom. It's packed with a lot of stuff that you should want to go over with someone that can give you other pieces of history and peer-reviewed scholarship that goes with it, where you can make a sound decision, because it's a lot of things in here that, how can I say, you can see people's arbitrary perspective. But I like to give you everything so you can make a sound decision, so you don't feel like no one is trying to program your thought process, because All wisdom is a double-edged blade. And remember, this wasn't written by our prophet, it was written by authors. So I want y'all to, understand that. And once again, I'm coming in peace, I'm coming in love, I'm coming in unity, I'm coming in family, and I love everyone, and I'm pushing out all positive vibrations in 2026. I believe love trumps all, and if anybody coming with negative vibrations and negative frequency around you, get them away from you. Going forward, if anyone coming to you with negative vibrations and complaining, get them away from you and watch your life change. I promise you. Stay in your studies, work out, and everything gonna be okay. Peace.